And it's something about humans when we share a hardship, a difficult time, and I don't want to make it sound like it's a hardship, but it can be a difficult time. We bond better then than we ever do at any other time in our existence.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my next video. What we're going to see today is a conversation I had with the people who do the hiring at the beet harvest next September, October. And so we shot this a while ago before this whole thing came up with the social isolation. And I wasn't sure that they would still want me to put it out, so I contacted them and they said yes. We still have full plans for the beet harvest coming up. And I know a lot of you are at risk of losing your jobs now, particularly who knows what's going to happen with the campgrounds. So if you're looking for a job to get through 2020, or in the future, if you're watching this in 2021 or later, lots of good information here about working at the beet harvest. Something you should give serious thought to and follow through on. So let's watch the video, and just be aware that this is still available to you in April of 2020 as of now. So also let them know if you do apply that I sent you, and they'll send me a nice little teeny tiny check, but I'll be glad to have it. So let's watch the video.
And so what are some examples of, most people are going to be a helper, sample taker. What will they be doing? This is probably the majority of our people will be joining.
So I'm going to read it right from the checklist. This is exactly what we tell every person that applies with us when we're discussing it with them with our checklist. The helper sample taker position is what you are being hired for. This position is responsible for directing truck traffic, gathering samples of beets. A full sample bag weighs between 25 and 30 pounds, excuse me. So what they'll do is the truck will come on, they'll take the ticket from the truck driver, and it'll tell them if a sample needs to be taken or not. So they'll write the piler that the truck is on, and they'll hand that ticket back to the truck driver. If a sample is required, they will have a sample ticket that they'll put in the sample bag, and then they'll watch for the load to get about halfway through the piling part of it, the halfway through dumping, and then a light will come on, and then they'll be able to take a sample bag, take it up to the piler, and press a button, and a bucket will go down into the beets where they're being rolled through the piler, and it'll scoop up a sample, and it'll drop it through a tube, so to speak, and go and catch into the bag. And then they tie it off, put it on the ground, and somebody will be by to pick those up later. And you must have the ability to be on your feet standing during your entire 12-hour shift. This job requires the ability to lift, pull, and push a minimum of 25 pounds and be able to bend, stoop, shovel, and climb around heavy equipment up to several times per shift.
Yeah. So people need to be aware that they could be working outside 12 hours a day, climbing around, lifting, not really, really heavy weights. 25 pounds really isn't all that heavy, but doing it a lot sure adds up.
It can be physically demanding.
It could be 40 degrees. It could be raining. And you're out there just working in it all day. So people, and I'm sure you are very careful to let people know this can be a hard endurance contest at times. And at times it's probably pretty easy.
Yeah, and what we like to say is we're not here to sugarcoat it. We don't want somebody to travel all that way up here thinking that the job is one thing and then it turns out that it's something else. We want to try to be as transparent and crystal clear as possible ahead of time to make sure that they make the educated decision that this is the right job for them. Our main concern, also is for, again, the safety of our workers and the freezing of their pipes and their RVs. We don't want things like that to happen to them. They didn't come here to get set up and have things like that happen. So that's why October 31st is our commitment time here in the Valley.
And so what can people expect in the way of campgrounds when they get there?
Sure. So not all campgrounds are created equal. Generally, the sooner that people can apply, the better that we can do in placing them with maybe their friends who have already applied or placing them in certain campgrounds. But so the sooner you apply, generally we can get you into a nicer facility, or if you have we do our best to make sure that we can meet those requests if they're within reason. But, you know, if you delay your application time or when you apply or when you decide that this is right for you, you might have a little bit farther distance driving time based on, you know, if we have other campgrounds that have already filled up. So generally we have campgrounds that are about 2 miles from the piling site, and we have campgrounds that would require a minimum of, 28 miles from campsite to piling site is the farthest away that we have.
So you may have to drive a little bit to get to work. But I would imagine that, you know, you're kind of all in this thing together. And you mentioned earlier the camaraderie that builds up, that you kind of, where you get together and you carpool and things like that. Yeah,
we have a lot of people who end up carpooling together. You know, hey, I'm going to drive Tuesday if you want to drive Wednesday. They meet a lot of people. We have a lot of people when it comes to pets in the campgrounds, where they will go out and meet people that are either at a different piling site on an opposite shift, where they let each other's pets out in agreement. You know, if you take care of my pet, I'll help you take care of your pet. So that's one way that people work around the pet situation. I know that's a big question. But yeah, a lot of people car share, ride share, they do it all together. A lot of people have it where they get together each night at, you know, 5 o'clock or whatever, and they hang out and they talk, and then they all go to bed.
I imagine the going to bed part's the good part.
Yes.
I mean, it's potentially, you could get there and work 14 days straight, 12 hours every day.
Yes.
So it is hard work, and people need to have that in their mind. This is going to be a grind, but it's worth it because you get a lot of money really fast.
Right.
So if I've been watching and I think, you know, this can work for me, I'm more than willing to endure a little bit of discomfort for 2 weeks for that kind of money. What do I need to bring with me to have my best experience?
Sure. So cold weather gear is obviously a huge thing, and layers of clothing. Food rations, you know, last year we were shut down for a long time. And so we advise, based on what happened last year, that people should have at least 2 to 3 weeks worth of, you know, food rations that they can dip into if necessary. We advise people to do crock pot meals. And if you're going to do crock pots, you can get those liners that you can just put in and take out, so that the cleaning isn't as difficult for individuals. They don't have to try to clean their crock pot after they've had chili or spaghetti or something in it. We also want to let people know that they should bring along extension cords, additional sewer hoses, extra water hoses, clamps, heat tape, and any other RV accessories which you might need at any other campground. You know, our campgrounds are just like every other campground, and sometimes you're going to need an extra sewer hose because of where the sewer cap is placed and how long it, you know, how far it is from your RV. So just things to keep in mind.
Will everyone have electric while they're there?
Yes, we provide electricity to everybody.
Okay.
Yep. All campgrounds have at least, you know, most of our facilities are like large actual campgrounds. So they've got the 30, 50. And then for those who have solar or just need the 20 volt, we generally don't have an issue providing that at all either.
Okay, good. And do they all have a bathhouse? Say I'm in a van, I have everything, but I don't have a shower and a toilet. They all have bathhouses?
No, so not all of our facilities provide bathhouses, but if you do not have a bathroom or a shower, please just let us know ahead of time so we can place you in a facility that is able to provide that to you.
Okay, so they don't all have it, but enough do that you're probably going to be able to get one that has it.
Yeah, we would never put you somewhere where you weren't able to take a hot shower.
Right. It also seems like I've heard of people who maybe a spouse isn't working, that they will go around and walk people's dogs for them, things like that. Is that something you've heard of?
Yeah, we have some people that, you know, their spouse either has a full-time job, you know, on the computer, or simply, you know, is just there to be with the spouse. And there have been people that do provide dog walking services in some of the campgrounds. It's not something so we have campground hosts in some of our campgrounds and some of our larger campgrounds. It's not something we require our campground hosts to do, But if our campground host offers to do it, then there is also that as well for individuals with pets. But yes, we have had people that do provide dog walking services or cat walking or whatever type of animal you have.
You're not promising that, but it has happened and it might happen again.
Yes. Yep. It all depends on just who's coming.
Right. And also you don't promise a carpool, but it probably can and will happen just naturally.
Yeah. I mean, if you get out and you network and you meet people that are at your same piling site and same shift, we have a lot of people that do that. They get together with who they meet in the campground and they all ride together.
And it's something about humans when we share a hardship, a difficult time, and I don't want to make it sound like it's a hardship, but it can be a difficult time. We bond better then than we ever do at any other time in our existence. And so I would think, like you said, the marriages and the friendships and the camaraderie that is built, that's just kind of a natural flow of this experience.
Yeah, we have a lot of people that don't come here for the money. They come here because of the people that they met, and they continue to meet up in the same spot at the same campground in the same space and work the same piling site. So, I mean, it's about friendship. They come back because of the foreman that they had. I hear that a lot. Oh, I'm definitely coming back this year. We had an amazing foreman. We're coming back. Just, we want to work for our foreman. We're coming back for our foreman. So, I mean, there's a lot of friendship and camaraderie that goes along here.
I can kind of share along with that line. I worked for 4 years as a campground host, and that works so well with you because it's almost always done, and then you can leave there and go to the beet harvest. But I worked at the same location for 3 years straight because I really enjoyed my direct supervisor, my direct boss, and I love the people I worked with. So I would go back. Of course, I'm going to get paid. I'm going for the money.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it so much that it wasn't a hardship. Even when it was hard, and sometimes it was hard, I enjoyed it overall.
Sure.
So I think that's really a good thing. And I think it's important to say it does work really well with campground hosting, beet harvest, and then Amazon. Those flow together really well.
Yeah.
Person can in 6 months make enough money to live on easily for the year, for the other 6 months, but perhaps even for more if you're really frugal. We can by living so cheaply.
Sure. So the amount of people that we're looking for in Sydney, we are looking for approximately 200 work campers. Now over there, we have a shortage of campgrounds that we can use because of the oil industry. So over there, we do have to have 2 working people per RV. So we don't allow solos in Sydney. In the Red River Valley or American Crystal Sugar, we are looking for approximately 850 work campers. Now we allow solos. So all the solos are welcome in the North Dakota, Minnesota, Red River Valley area. And then in Michigan, we will be looking for approximately, again, about 200 work campers. And we do allow solos in Michigan as well.
Are there any special clothing requirements I need to bring with me?
Sure. So again, we always tell people to layer up and make sure that they have cold weather gear. We advise people to wear hats, bring a pair of gloves. Some of our locations are able to provide gloves, some of them are not. So we advise people to bring their own. And then work boots. They do not have to be a steel toe, but we advise everybody to get a good solid pair of work boots that goes above the ankle for additional support and that has good traction. We also advise that everybody break in their boots before they come. Please do not start your first 12-hour shift with a brand new pair of boots.
Right. That's a guaranteed misery there.
Yes. We offer a referral bonus. You could be eligible for a $50 referral bonus for each new hire worker that you refer to the beet harvest. So once they come to the office, they put your name on the back of the sheet that they're filling out. And then at the end, we issue you a check based on how many referrals that meet they haven't worked the harvest before, and they have to work a minimum of 80 hours. So, and it doesn't take long when you're working 12-hour shifts to hit those 80 hours.
Folks, I hope you got something out of this video. I hope you've at least learned and you have a much better informed knowledge about the beet harvest. For some of you, it's the perfect thing and you should go and apply. And for some of you, it really isn't. Maybe it isn't just something you would consider. But Alyssa, thank you so much for your honesty and letting people know. You know, you don't want people to come there and just find out it's not for them. So thank you very much.
And thank you.
So folks, thank you so much for watching this video. If you got anything out of us, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you later.
.com/cheaprvliving. We appreciate your support and hope to see you down the road.